How's it going, everybody? Mike back at you with another edition of 5 Minute Gaming. And this is a very, very special and important show because this show is about a 1 and a 0 and a 0. And that is my 100th show. 100th show since I started about a year ago. And I was thinking the other day about what could I do that was special for the 100th show. And I thought of only one thing. I thought, well, if it's 100 shows, I need to spend it with some of the two most important people in my life. And that would be my son Brett.
Hello.
And my son Kyle.
Hello.
And Brett and Kyle are here with me to celebrate this 100th episode. And we have connected via Discord, which when you think about going back in time, it's kind of amazing to me that we can even do this kind of thing where they're each at their own PC and they've got their own games that they like to play. But here we are, we're going to talk. It's going to be a little show and tell, a little sharing, some reminiscing, and maybe even some future predictions. So I'm going to start with Brett. And first of all, Brett, I would just like you to tell me in your best words what video games mean to you.
Well, that's kind of a hard question, but I guess say video games mean to me sort of an escape from real life where you shouldn't be reliant on them, but they're a nice break sometimes from the things we have to do in real life, and it's a time when you can just sit down and have fun without any problems usually. I mean, there's sometimes problems, but for the most part, it's just a good break from the constant struggles of the world and reality, and it's pretty nice to have that.
Going back to your younger days, I'm curious if you could give me a timeline of the video games as you started playing them from the first day you can remember up until today, and see if you can tell me about all the games you've played in between. Just see if you can list out every game that you've played that you remember and enjoyed. Starting from
Would you say I should list out like the most influential ones to me?
I'm actually thinking about going in just in order from what's the oldest game you can remember playing?
The oldest game I can remember playing would either be one of the Mario games on the 3DS or Minecraft on the Xbox 360.
Great. And then what do you remember playing after that? Tell me some other games.
After that, I can't exactly give a timeline because it's been so long, but I can tell you some of the games I definitely remember playing, which meant a lot to me. Was I played Minecraft, and I also played Peggle. That's something else I was introduced to very young, which is something I still remember today. I also remember playing Rayman Legends, which was something that was a big part of my life for a while, because that still remains to be probably one of, in my at least top 10 or 15 favorite games. Played Rayman Legends for a while. Then eventually I got a computer because I really wanted to play Minecraft. And once I got the computer, I played Minecraft. Somewhere along the line, I downloaded a game called Geometry Dash onto my iPad, and I played that for a while, but I never really got serious with that for a while. So it was most part just Minecraft with my friends. I also got a game called Stick Fight the Game. I played that. And I still play that today with my friends. That was a lot of fun. And for the most part, it was most of those games up until the point when COVID hit. When COVID hit, a lot of things changed. I started playing Geometry Dash a lot because my other friends got into it, and I found it as something I could do for a long time and not really get bored of it because there's two major aspects to the game. Some other games I also played over the course of like the quarantine that we all went into during COVID-19 was, there was a PS4 set up in my room, which was pretty cool, and I got to play a lot of great story games on there, such as The Last of Us, the Uncharted series. I played Skyrim, but that was on the Nintendo Switch. That was actually the first one I played. Then it was The Last of Us, and then it was the Uncharted series. And then I started playing the Tomb Raider games, but I never quite got around to that. And ever since then, it's mostly been a combination of either Minecraft, Geometry Dash, or Stick Fight the Game. I'm doing a lot of that.
I'm surprised you didn't mention Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Oh yeah, I that is important to me. I guess I just forgot to mention it. That was probably one of my favorite story games I've ever played before. I guess, yeah, I forgot to mention that one, but you're right. That's a very important one to me.
So Kyle, I'm wondering, before we move over to you though, I'm wondering if you have any questions for Brett about the games he's played through his life so far.
Nope, I don't really have any questions.
So Kyle, tell me what you remember as far as the first video game you can recall playing.
Well, I remember that when I was maybe 4 or 5, I walked up our staircase and I saw that on our TV there was an Xbox 360 version of Minecraft on there, and me being so little and young, I had no idea what that was about. So I kind of just went on. But later I kind of discovered games like Roblox and Minecraft, and just like Brett, I kind of started to play Stick Fight the game a lot. And then slowly I just kind of started to play Roblox even more when COVID started to become a thing.
Brett, do you have any questions for Kyle on his game history? Anything that he might have forgotten that you remember him playing?
The only question I would have is, could you give more of a timeline to when you played those things? Because, like, I know you've been playing Roblox for a while, and I see you playing it every day, but I don't actually know when you started playing it.
I believe I started playing it maybe about 5 years ago.
Do you remember what got you into it?
I just kind of discovered the website and I tried it out for a bit. And then I just kind of realized that, hey, I could make games on this, and there's a variety of different games that people have created. So I slowly just started playing it even more, and now it's my probably main game I play.
All right.
What I find interesting with the two of you is that you're both PC gamers. And I also was a PC gamer for you know, since the 90s, really. And I think a lot of kids grow up with, you know, their parents are not really into maybe gaming that much, and so they'll buy them an Xbox for Christmas or PlayStation or something like that, and then they end up being what I would call a console gamer. And I have PC games and console games I play on everything, but you know, PC gaming has definitely been a big thing, and because of that, there's been a lot of PCs around the house. I set you guys up each with a PC, and over the years you become PC gamers, which I find interesting because it very well could have been a different direction for you guys if that hadn't been a part of my life. You may have just been Xbox people. What do you think about that?
I'd say that you giving us the computers probably has a lot to do with that. And I think that if you didn't play video games like you did, we probably would be console gamers. But I'm glad I play on the computer because it opens a lot more possibilities. Like there's so many things you can't do on the console. Like the keyboards that you use to type to people in console are pretty bad. They're hard to access, and you could get one that plugs into an Xbox controller, but that's just more money spent versus just having a computer. You can use a keyboard or anything. There's also more like social network accessibility, such as the Discord we're able to use. I don't know why I said the Discord, but yeah, Discord we're able to use that lets you share games straight to a social network versus having to deal with all the party chats and stuff on Xbox and the PlayStation. It's like, I feel like it's more accessible, and I'm definitely thankful that you gave us the computers instead of Xbox.
Well, a lot of times when you grow up, basically you just follow a path similar to what your parents do, just because that's just what is around and that's what your parents are comfortable. In my case, I'm very comfortable with PCs. I built my own PCs. Brett, your first PC I built for you. And then Kyle, you're using one of my very powerful past work PCs. So it's, yeah, it's just interesting how things kind of evolve. So I also, as part of this show, I would like to have you each take a turn and share kind of what you've been playing these days and what I know is a big deal to you. And let's start with you, Kyle. So I'd go ahead and screen share Roblox for us. And let's watch a little bit of you playing Roblox, and I'd like to hear you talk about kind of what you're doing, and you know, talk about this, as there's might be people watching this that don't know anything about Roblox. So can you share your screen?
Yep. Alright, so this game I'm in, this is called the Tower of Heck, and basically, this is sort of like an obby or a parkour course than Roblox. You just have to complete this tower. As you can see, this is the tower on the right of the screen.
That's a very nice and friendly name, the Tower of Heck.
Yep. So yeah, so this is one of the stages. These like moving parts, those are conveyors, and then these like shiny lasers around here, those are like death parts, so if you touch those, then you have to restart. So I just kind of have to traverse this obstacle course while avoiding these lasers.
That's very nice and friendly. Death parts.
Yeah.
So this is a platforming.
Yeah, basically.
And Roblox is all kinds of things, right, Kyle? Not just, I mean, it's got platform games, right? There's like, shoot 'em up games.
There's a billion different versions of games. So this next stage, this is a short stage, but it's still a tough one. Because I have to... See, I fell over there. What I was on, this was a loose part. It could basically, like, turn when I was on it. So that kind of made me lose my balance and fall off. So I fell right back down to the bottom of the tower, and I have to restart again. And at the top, you can see someone made it here. And I just kind of have to keep on doing this. The timer right here is how long until the tower changes. And that's what happens when you hit the death parts.
So is there another game you can show us? Because I know Roblox is like, what, hundreds of games in one world? I like your hat. Is that hat something that you got somewhere?
Yes, I actually got this hat recently. Do you want me to go into the story of how it works?
Yes, tell us the story as you're loading another game.
Alright, so the way I got this hat was when I actually got a Roblox gift card. Roblox has its own like mini currency called Robux, where like you can get Robux gift cards and you can use this currency to buy like game passes and avatar items. The hat I got, this is a special thing called a limited item, where basically it goes off sale after a certain amount of time, but then you can sort of resell it for more money because the price changes. So it's sort of like the stock market.
Do
You
understand all that, Brett?
I mean, I understand what a stock market is, but no, I can't really understand the whole interworkings of Roblox.
Yeah, obviously, Roblox has a huge marketplace, and there's a lot of buying and selling of digital assets and sharing and loaning and giving. And so, Kyle, do you have your... we've lost your stream. Are you...
Yeah, I've loaded a new game.
All right.
All right, so this is a game called Super Doomspire. This is more of a battling game against other players. So I've got 5 tools. One, I've got a rocket launcher that can shoot rockets. And I've got my sword here. Then I've got a bomb, so I can like use it to bounce. So now I've loaded into a game. This is called Infection. I'm sure you've played Infection in games before. Do you know how Infection works?
No. Tell me.
Okay, so the way this works is the green team are the zombies, and you have to try and defend yourself and attack the zombies. So the time limit here, this is how long until the game ends, and I have to just fight these guys. So I just got a KO here. And you just have to, like, survive until this timer runs out. But if you die on the survivor team, which is the red team, then you've basically lost. And you become a zombie, and you try and have to infect other players. So now I just died. So now I am a zombie in this game.
Yes, you're very green.
Yeah. So now I have to go and attack the red team, who are the survivors, and if I die on the zombie team, I just get respawned. So yeah, if the red team can survive until the time limit is over, then the red team wins. But if the green team destroys all of the red players, then the green team wins.
And
any questions?
There are other people, right? Yeah, all the people on the right side there, they're all real people.
Yeah.
They're not bots, right?
Nope. All right, I just won the game.
Hey! What's your prize? Do you win something?
This game has its, like, currency. This is just a currency for the game. You basically win a bunch of tokens, and if I go to the shop here, I can, like, buy new items that, like, are better.
So what's interesting to kind of do a little segue into Brett doing a little bit of share time is what's interesting, Kyle, is a lot of what you win is stuff, you know, and then a little bit of kind of a recognition amongst others, you know, other strangers. But Brett, I would say in your world of Geometry Dash, which we're going to learn a little bit about Geometry Dash, you know, what you win, I would say, is definitely a great amount of respect amongst others who play the game. Am I correct in that assessment?
Yeah, I would say that there's not really anything you win. You just, like, it's respect, and it's also self-worth and achievement. The fact that you were able to pull off something as impressive as what you did.
So while Brett is loading up Geometry Dash to share with us, I'm going to talk a little bit about Geometry Dash myself because I've watched Brett play it over the years. GD, as everyone calls it, is an amazing game in the sense that I will be the first to say I could never play this game. It's too intense for me. Too much memory involved, but for someone like Brett, he's got the brain to really jump into something like this and do some amazing things. And so, Brett, tell us more about GD and what it means to you. And I know you're getting it loaded as soon as you can, just share the screen. But like I've said, Geometry Dash is all about, as our long-term family joke was, is, you know, you used to say, I'm learning. It's like math education. I'm learning all about shapes. And, of course, the joke is, no, not really. Okay, we got it now. We can see it. Okay. So, Geometry Dash, and Brett, you've been playing this, what, about 5-6 years?
Probably 6 or 7 years, but that's a little bit of an unfair time management thing, or it's a bit of an unfair time frame because I never really played it seriously 6 or 7 years ago. I only actually started playing it pretty seriously like a year or two ago.
And Geometry Dash was created by one person, right? His name was Rob Top.
Yeah, it was a Rob Top. His real name is Robert Topola, and he's a Swedish game developer. And sure, he probably never expected it to get as big as it did, but hey, most indie game developers probably don't expect their game to get that big either.
So Brett, go back one screen for a second where we had the Mordrock 7.
Sure, yeah, this is my profile.
So I want to talk about this 331 scary looking demon faces. And tell us what that means on that right side there, because I know what that means.
So the demon faces, or they're just called demons in the game, is they're like well, that's not quite what they are. It's a tally up there of how many I've beaten, but the demon rated levels are the harder levels within the game. I can go over here, and on this screen, you see for the different ratings, you have easy, then you have normal, then you have hard, then you have harder, then you have insane, and then you have the demon, and then with the demons, there comes the easy demon.
Sadly, we lost your screen. It went to blue.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know what you did, but it somehow... this is a thing with Discord where Brett has a dual screen setup, and for some reason with Geometry Dash is a little picky. And if you do certain things, there we go. We got it back.
Okay. So there's the easy rating, there's the normal rating, the hard rating, the harder rating, the insane rating, and then you have the easy demon, the medium demon, the hard demon, the insane demon, and then the extreme demon. So those are all of the different ratings of these, and every time you beat one of these categories, it just adds another one to this tally here that I have up here of 331.
Yeah, so that in itself should say that Brett is hardcore into this game. He has put his heart and soul into it over the years. It has been pretty much your life focus when it comes to video games most of the time.
Yeah.
And you're very good at it because of that. And you design your own levels in Geometry Dash, so you play other people's levels, you make your own. So, Brett, can you show us what you consider to be your greatest achievement in your level design and maybe play a little bit for us? And Kyle, what do you think about Geometry Dash? While Brett is getting this going, what are your thoughts on Geometry Dash?
Well, I've played Geometry Dash before, and I am nowhere near as good as Brett, but this is a fun game. If you're good enough and you want to try and get better at it, I would suggest playing this, because this is actually a fun game for me to play. Of course, I don't play it anymore, but when I did, it was still fun.
So, do you want me to show something that I've made or something that I've beaten?
You know what? Why don't you show one of each? Let's just kind of keep it, brief. But
okay.
Sure.
So, something I've made recently that I'm very proud of is, it would probably have to be, let me find it. It is right here. This is something I built over the course of Christmas break. Which I'm very proud of. Yeah. This is something that I worked on for a while, which I'm very proud of. I will do a practice run of it. Let me turn on this.
So Brett's also, he's running mods on this too. He's deep into the game. But when Brett's playing, he's using his mouse. So the mouse is just simply clicking to cause this shape to follow a path. And it involves clicking to bounce, but also the way you pause between clicks can affect, because there's gravity involved at times. So the shape will fall based on gravity. So there's a lot of very, very precise timing. Not to mention, as you can watch, it's kind of a mind trip just to see all this stuff. And the only way to beat stuff like this is you just got to play it over and over and over. And when Brett was getting into this game, one time I logged in. I bought Geometry Dash on Steam, and I logged in and tried to play a couple of Brett's early levels, and yeah, it was hard. I don't think I could even beat any of them. This game.
And those things were nowhere near as hard as my stuff I make now.
Yeah, if you're gonna get good at this game, it's a commitment. This is not a casual game by any means. This is hardcore gaming. But Brett has become part of a community of people that all make these levels, share, comment, and they're all into it deep. And that's what video game is all about. Sometimes you play games by yourself. Sometimes you play games as part of a community. And Brett has found this community to be a place that he likes hanging out.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with that. I have a lot of friends that I've made through this game, which I talk to on an everyday basis, which is pretty cool. So that what you just watched is something that I spent probably about 2 weeks on. And it's very hard, but I'm proud of the finale that I've made with this. And you can see the end screen right here. So that's the entirety of that. That's something I've made that I was very proud of. This is one of the hardest things. This is probably the hardest thing I've beaten, which I can just do a run of it really quickly to show it. It's not, I don't think it's super visually impressive, but it'll still be cool to watch. So if you want me to do a run of this, I can do this.
Give it a shot.
Alrighty.
Hey, Kyle.
Yeah?
While we're waiting, how about you just boot up some Minecraft, and we'll kind of come back to you maybe for a little bit of Minecraft, because you play that, right?
Yeah.
So why don't you get that loaded?
Alright.
Load up something you want to share that is meaningful to you. Because when you do a show with 100 years, it's about reflection and appreciation and just celebrating, what video games are all about. So, Brett is extremely focused on a very difficult level. We'll see if he makes it. And I made Brett's life much happier when I gave him my 144 hertz monitor, because for a game like this, I knew it would make a big difference. 85, 86%. 89. The end is in sight. 96. 100.
Oh,
yeah.
There we go. That's the.
Did you make that? Did you just did it? Because it looked like you backed up a couple times.
Yeah, I wasn't playing it legitimately. I was just doing it to show it. But I have beaten that 100% legitimately.
Yep. If you want to learn more about Brett and his Geometry Dash, Brett has his own YouTube channel where he posts some of his levels. Brett, what is that channel?
The channel is called Mordrock7. It has a profile picture. It's a kind of a pink one, and it has like a black stick figure on the front. I have about 108 subscribers on there, so if you want to check out some of the stuff I've made and some of the things I do, you can check it out there.
Well, and you've got one level that aren't you almost at 10,000 views that you co-developed with a couple other people?
Yeah, one of my videos has been kind of blowing up lately. I'm not really sure why, but it's got a lot of views on it, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Brett. That's really cool. Geometry Dash is your life. It'll be interesting to see where that life goes. You've definitely spent a lot of time on this game. And, you know, no question. You're good at it, and you've got a good community.
Yeah, I've spent a long time on this, and it's taken a while to get to where I am now, but I'm very satisfied with it.
Any other thoughts you would like to add, Brett, before we jump back over to Kyle and talk a little bit about Minecraft?
The only thing I'd like to say is I feel like a common misconception about this game is that people like to kind of write it off as a simple mobile game that you don't really do a lot on. But if you believe that, I implore you to look up some of the things that are being made in the game today, because in my personal opinion, some of the stuff that people make on the game are better than some AAA game graphics, which that's just my opinion, but I really do believe that. And if you do care about actually learning that it's more than just a simple mobile platformer game, then you will find a lot more about the game than you probably anticipated.
All right. Okay, Kyle, you got some Minecraft loaded up?
Yep.
All right, why don't you share your screen?
All right.
And if you're looking at the screen, you notice Brett and Kyle both have cat icons. We are definitely a cat family.
Yeah.
Lots of cats in our house. Okay, so I want to do something a little fun, Brett, all right? I want you to become me, and I want you to interview Kyle about Minecraft, and I'm going to stop talking. Okay? Brett, you are now taking over for a brief time as the host of 5 Minute Gaming. 5 Minute Gaming with Brett. Go.
Alrighty. So, Kyle, you've been playing this game for a while, and I know that for sure, and I know that you got into this game after I did. So, I'd just like to ask you, what would you say are some of your favorite things about this game before I ask the next question?
Alright, so first of all, one of my favorite games is that, as you can see what I have right here, this is my avatar. I have liked having the creativity of making myself an avatar to wear. Another thing I've liked is over the course of a few years, Minecraft has released a bunch of amazing and breathtaking updates, and in this I am about to show you one of them.
Alright, let's see it.
Alright, so this is what I'm about to show you is a work in progress, so it's nowhere near close to being done, but this is what I call the Cozy Cove.
Wow, did you make all that?
Now, this is actually the newest update of Minecraft. This is the Caves and Cliffs update. This basically, it turned terrain from mountains like this and caves like this to mountains and caves like this.
Wow, that was a pretty loud thunderstrike right there.
Yep. As I can show you, I can show you how deep the caves can go. So if I just fly through here, these go pretty deep.
Wow, that is really deep. That almost looks like real life with how deep it goes.
Yeah.
So, how often would you say you play this game compared to how much you play Roblox?
Compared to play Roblox, I don't play this game often. I normally play it maybe like once a week or so.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
And when I asked if what you had made, I was talking about the structures that you had built on the lake. Did you make all of those?
Yes, I made all of those.
Could we go back there and you could show a little bit of what you've been making?
Yep. Let me just find my way out.
Is there any way you could turn down your game audio? It's very, very loud.
Oh, yes, I can turn that down.
Okay.
Sometimes I get lost in these caves. Here it is.
So let's see what you've been making.
Alright, so first, this is like a home for farmers. These are like the crops place where they can grow stuff. The house hasn't been done yet. It takes a while to make them. Yeah, over here I'm going to have like a baker and a butcher. So then over here, this is like the main town square, as you can see. This is the farmer, baker, and butcher. So then this is the main square with the big tree here. So next I have this little spot. This took a while to make because I'm not that good at making bubbles, but then in here, this is a like underground or underwater little like observatory, so you can look through the glass and observe the sea from below.
That's really cool.
I agree. That is really cool, Kyle.
What were some of the other pathways you have?
Well, the entrance to get into here, this is basically like the pathway to go through. And it just starts from here.
Oh,
I just
see.
built, yeah. I haven't done a lot, but the plan I have for this is in here, or like underwater, I'm going to have a village of some sort. On top, I'm gonna have like shops or markets for people to come shop at. And then in here, I'm going to have like a suburban place. Oh yes, I made this a while ago. You can basically just plunge into the water.
Oh, that's really cool. It's like diving.
Yeah.
So, how long have you been playing this game?
I believe I was playing it for around maybe 2 or 3 years.
That's a pretty long time.
Yeah.
And I guess I have to ask, like, what is it about this game that you like so much?
What I like is, well, I like a lot of things, but if I had to choose the thing that I like the most, I like the idea of you can build whatever you want in this game. Because there's a variety of many things to build with. I've got ice, I've got glass, I've got concrete powder, I've got actual concrete, I've got stairs, I've got dried kelp, I've got a bunch of stuff.
Wow, I'm sure there's a lot of pretty impressive structures you could make with that stuff.
Yep. Some of the stuff people make is insane.
Yeah, I can understand that. So, before we're done, is there anything else you'd like to share about this game and what you've made?
I don't think so. This is my main project I've been working on for a while.
How long would you say you've been working on it?
Maybe for about a month or so.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, some of the small changes I've made in here. Yes, I made one more thing. This is something magical that I will have to keep a secret for now. If you come over here, you can see this little drop spot or this little thing. And if you plunge into here, the water just stops.
Wonder what could be down there.
I'll have to keep this for a secret.
Alrighty.
I like secrets. Easter eggs are great.
Yep, this is what I call the Cozy Cove.
The very Cozy Cove. Nice job.
Yep.
So to conclude this special 100th episode family affair 5-minute gaming show. Brett and Kyle, do either of you have any questions for me about video games that you have always wanted to know?
What are some of your favorite video games that you like to play?
Well, you mean favorite video games of all time or favorite video games that I just like to play right now?
Of all time.
Well, of all time, I would definitely say it would, there are a number of games that have impacted me over the years, but I would say probably the games that mean the most to me or are just simply most memorable for particular reasons. Like Super Mario 64 and the Nintendo 64. That was just a mind-blowing console release of a 3D adventure that I'd never seen or experienced before. So it was a paradigm shift in just what you could play at home on a console. Another story is when I taught animation at the Seattle Art Institute, I went home for Christmas break and one of my students gave me a disc and he said, "You got to try this game, Mike, over Christmas break. It's called Unreal. It'll blow your mind." And I decided to put it in, and it really did blow my mind because it was a shooter, but it had these huge environments. I mean, I'd played some Doom and Quake, and that's a lot of close quarter shooting, but Unreal was more of a story. It had these gigantic environments where you could see these creatures from far, far away, and you could really get a sense of scale and depth. Nowadays, that's not a big deal because that's in everything. But Unreal was definitely a game that, changed my view of what games could be, on the PC, which was really pioneering. The Witcher 3 and Skyrim are both some of my favorite RPGs of all time. The Elder Scrolls Skyrim was just an incredible experience from start to finish. And Brett, you've played that one. So.
Yeah, I've 100%ed that game pretty much.
Yes, and Skyrim was just something that when I played it, it was incredible. I don't think you've ever heard this story though, Brett. When Skyrim came out, I got it for the PlayStation 3, which was a bad decision. I should have gotten it for the PC, but I went with the PS3 version because I liked my PS3 and I just thought it would be fun to play it on that. And it's kind of long forgotten, but there was a huge bug in the PS3 version of the game where once your save file hit a certain size, the whole game just started chugging. And it was awful. I mean, when I played it, I kept looking at the size of my save file, and the closer it got, I felt like I had this impending doom. And once I hit it, I pretty much couldn't play the game anymore. And so I ended up buying it for the PC and I started over. It was a sad ordeal. It was just for some reason.
I don't think I'd ever heard of that before. That reminds me of the Cyberpunk 2077 issues.
Yeah, which right now Cyberpunk 2077 is playing great. I've been playing it on the PC myself and it plays solid. I mean, they've worked out all the bugs. I mean, they're at like version 1.3, so it's pretty solid. But yeah, when it came out, it had a lot of problems. But a lot of games come out and have problems. I mean, nowadays we're in this time where when a game is released, the mindset is, well, it's kind of, to me, it's like the final beta. They get it out there and then they just start waiting for people to talk about problems. They fix it. So Cyberpunk just got a lot of extra press because of some of its problems. But that is the time we live in. But I loved my Skyrim, and The Witcher 3 was definitely right up there. But I've played so many games in my life, and I continue to play new games. I bounce around a lot, and I just love video games. I find them all to be amazing experiences in all respects. So, Brett, did you have any other questions for me?
The only thing I guess I would ask is, I know you've had video games for much longer than me and Kyle have, and you've been with video games since the dawn of their creation. So, I guess the one thing I would be interested in knowing is, what is your opinion on how they've evolved from the very beginning to now?
Well, that's easy. They've evolved into a social adventure. Before they were a single player adventure, and if you played with others, it was a player 1 and then player 2 and then player 3 and 4 eventually. But the way they started out, it was pretty much just a 1-player game in the arcade or a 2-player game where you took turns. And the social aspect was you both stared at the screen and took your turns on the joystick. And then as it evolved into console gaming, you could play with others and sometimes play co-op, where you might split the screen and do something together. But really, you know, the game that changed everything, that has really brought things into where you guys are so used today to playing games with other people, was really Halo. Because when Halo came out, I mean, the multiplayer console evolution, where people would get together at homes and bring their Xboxes, and we did this too, and you'd connect. You could connect up to 4 Xboxes via a local network connection and play in the same room, usually with TVs, and it was very social because you'd play in a big room together, and it was a multiplayer shooter. And there, you know, Doom had already been doing that, but a lot of that stuff was more you would play over the phone line or something, so you play with someone at their house, you were at your house. But Halo brought people in the same room, and it changed everything. I think it opened the door to true community gaming. And now with the internet and Discord, like we're even talking now, I mean, everybody's connected. And so you play games either with friends together, like in Call of Duty or something like that, where you're on teams, or you play by yourself and share your screen with others and they watch you play and comment. So gaming for you guys, to me, I think has become quite a social experience. And it is for me too, but I still, and maybe it's the old school part of me, but I'm perfectly happy playing by myself. And it's probably too because I don't have as much time as you guys do. So my time is limited. So I've always been an adventure person, but you know, to each their own. I think one of the greatest thing about video games today is there are so many choices, so many options. You find what you like and you do that, whether it's social, by yourself, or a little bit of each.
I definitely have to agree with that. I can see how it's definitely become more social over the time. Do you think that it was a good evolution for it, or do you think it should have gone another way?
I can't think of any other way it could have gone because it's kind of gone every way.
Yeah, that's true.
You can do whatever you want. There are so many games out there, and there are new games coming out, you know, by the thousands. I mean, daily. I mean, we have independent game developers. I mean, people love the story of someone who creates a game like Rob Top. One person makes a game and it becomes a worldwide hit. And it's like we're in the time now where anyone can make a game. Anybody can make a game. And when I was growing up, not anyone could make a game. You had to work for a big company, and that company would tell you, if you were an employee, what game you were to make with a team of people. But it's like anything. Anybody can do anything. It just involves hard work and focus and a little bit of luck. So I don't know any other way it could have involved. You know, I guess the one thing I'll ask you, Brett and Kyle, what you think about this is the mystery to me is VR. Is virtual reality going to grow to the point where it really truly becomes the next thing? Because I think the problem with VR is still you have to wear these uncomfortable big goggles and you just don't see everybody doing it. But I'm curious what the two of you think about. Do you think VR is going to grow to where everybody does it? Or do you think it might just be a fad that might eventually die off, kind of like 3D TV or 3D movies?
I think VR will probably stay on a while, and I actually do think it will continue to grow because there's ways, it's already pretty good right now, but there are ways it could get even better, which says a lot about what or where it'll evolve.
How about you, Kyle? What do you think?
I feel like it's gonna stay for a long time because I'm sure that many years from now, they'll probably find some sort of way to turn those huge big goggles into just tiny little goggles that are the same size you wear to go swimming in a pool.
Well, we've now quoted our thoughts in this year of 2022, and it'll be interesting 10 years from now when we all watch this video. What will we be doing? Will VR be the games people play, or will there be some new thing that none of us could have ever predicted? It's hard to know.
Yeah, that's a pretty hard question to answer, but I feel like there's only really one way to go, and that's up. So there will definitely be more evolution in the future.
Very true.
Yep.
Well, it's been a pretty awesome 100-year celebration to share with the two of you. I've really enjoyed this, and you know, at the end of my shows, well, before I get to that though, actually, I'm going to put some links up on the screen to a show with Kyle that we did together and a show with Brett that we did together, something you can watch. At the end of my shows, I always like to just say thanks for watching. We'll see you next time, and I would like us all to try to say that at the same time. Can we do that?
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. See you in the future.
See you next time.
We'll see you next time.
Yeah.
Woo! 5-minute gaming with Mike.
Happy 100th.